So, hi everyone. So, today we are back to do another Rust challenge. So, in this challenge, we are going to create a greet user function and it takes the user's name as a parameter and prints a simple personalized greeting message. That's very easy to do. So, let's do it. So, first of all, let's create our greet user function. For that, we use fn keyword, which is a specific keyword for creating a function in Rust. So followed by that, we need to provide the function name, which would be like say greet user, and then we have to provide the parameters which we are using. So for this specific function, we are using the user's name as a parameter. So I need to pass, or I need to specify the parameter that we are receiving. It would be like, for example, name. Let's say name. Then I have to specify its data type or type that the variable supports or the value it receives. So it would be string. It would be like string slice. And if you don't know what's the difference between string and string slice, just Google it and it's very easy to understand. So here we are specifically receiving a type called string slice. For that we will be using and we are accessing its reference. Okay, so since we are accessing the reference of the exact variable from the main function, we would be using ampersand. So let's say string. This is the data type for the string slice, and we have specified the string, but it doesn't align or assign to the variable. For that we need to add this also. So now it's the function is correct. Now then, usually a function in Rust takes up or returns the data type. So we need to provide that return data type right there after the parameters. Since our function doesn't return any data type, we not need to specify the return data type or type. Okay, then now we can add our function body. So inside our function body, what we need to do, we need just a println macro function, println macro to print the message to the console. Okay, so just do the println macro, and then what we can add, like hi, then the name. How are you doing? Something like that. Anything you can add. Okay. Now I need to provide a variable to fill the template string. So what it could be name. So now our function is completed. Now we can focus on our main function. In main function, first thing we need to prompt the user to enter the name. So again we would be using println macro to show the user a message to enter the name. And now again we need something to store the name. So let's create a new variable to store the name. Let, and in Rust by default every variable is immutable. Since we are making a variable to store the value from the console, it means that it should be mutable, right? So for that we would specify the keyword as mute, which means that the variable is mutable. Then we can create a variable called username. Okay, and it should be a string. So what we should do is we need to create a string, and how it suppose string new. So it will create a new string. I mean not string, it will just assign that. Now we need to access, or we need the user to enter the name in the console. For that we need to use standard input output libraries of the Rust. So let's do that. In this module we need IO input output, then we need std in, then dot read line, and inside the read line we need to specify the variable where we need to store the value that the user enters. So it would be stored in the username, so that we will need to provide username. But you can see here it's mutatable string, right? So I will say we cannot directly provide it as username. We need to provide it as a reference, so we need to add this. Now it's okay. And till now you could see some errors, but let me see. Add a semicolon. Now some warnings there. Yeah, what the thing is, we need to handle the errors that might occur while reading the input from the console. So for that we can add expect function. So in dot expect, okay, in this, if anything error happens, it would be consoling this message into the terminal, printing this message to the terminal. So something error happened. I hope that's right, the spelling is right. Okay, then the next thing is just pass the value to the function. Okay, call our function here, and we need to pass the variable, so username. Now we got another error. It says that the name is of a reference type, so we are passing the reference of the username, which means which means exactly the reference of this variable, not the exact variable, just the reference of this variable to write here. So in order to pass the reference, we would be adding an ampersand sign before the variable. Okay, now the function is ready. So let's run that and see what's coming. It's asking me to enter the name, so let me enter my name. Okay, now you could see something right there. It's coming as a new line, right? Why? Because whenever we capture something from the terminal using the standard input output module, it will be also adding a new line character at the end of the user input, which means that after the January, a new line character string is just added, and which causes the line to split after this. So for that we need to add a new tree to our code. It is very simple. So we need to trim that new character, right? So for that, again, access the username. We access our username and just trim out that character, which means that it will trim or remove the new line character from the username input. The trimming is a string slice, but you could see that our username is of the type string, so there is a mismatch happening right there. So after this we need to again convert our string slice to string to match the types. So for that we just add to string. So of course our string slice would be converted to username, And now when we access the username, it does not contain the new line character. It would be removed. So it would be in the same line. Let's see. Run the code again. Student name. Okay, now it's coming in the same line. So that's the challenge, and we completed very easily. So thank you.